Hey girl boy, hey, it's Greggy Soriano, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make a holiday crest cake embellished with some piped lettering. Like most of my cakes, I'll be doing this freehand, and I'm just going to pipe my heart out and see whatever manifests out of what vision I have in my head. Right here I have a leaf green colored buttercream and a number 1 tip installed onto my piping bag. And this number 1 tip is on the smaller side, and believe it or not, there's actually different sizes when it comes to a number 1 tip with different brands. It all depends on the brand, and this is a very small size. It's literally pinhole size. Right now I'm creating my outline for my crest, and what I'm doing is I'm touching and I'm actually lifting the buttercream and touching back down onto my cake. And that's how you get a beautiful line. I'm just creating a general outline for this, so it doesn't have to be too perfect because I'm going to do a tiny bead border right on top of it. Right here I've switched into a number 101 tip. You could use a number 102 as well. And I'm outlining the previous outline that I made. I have the thinner, more narrow part facing out, and I'm slowly and carefully leaving a space in between the line that I made previously. And it doesn't have to be too perfect. Whenever I design things, like all of my cakes, I don't want it to look too cookie cutter because for some reason when it's more organic like that, it comes out more beautiful that way instead of you just printing something out or cutting things out with a cookie cutter. It looks more painted on and more beautiful to me. I'm doing one more line in the most inner part of the crest. You could either do this two ways. You could have your piping tip really steady right onto the icing, or you can do your drag and drop like I did earlier. So I'm just doing this just to show you, but I'm literally like laying right on top of the icing and having a steady hand, and always, always, always use your finger to guide your piping bag. That is what keeps it steady, and that is the ultimate secret to making things really nice and sort of straight. Pipe a delicate mini bead border right on top of the middle line. With the same exact tip, make S-curve shaped branches or vines around the crest. Start at the base of the vine with a little bit more thicker, wider strands and follow the S-curve and go a little bit smaller towards the end or the top. You want to take your time and look at the shape of it. You don't want to go too fast. You want to make it look really pretty and delicate. Strategically place more leaves around the crest, and you want to make sure you leave a breather space around the edge of the cake and leave some breather space in between each leaf that you create. Whenever you design something, you always, always, always want to think about breather space. And what that means is that you want to avoid crowding too much. I am not a minimalist whatsoever, if you know me and my designs, but I do love to strategically put things in the perfect spot, and you want to make it visually appealing, and you want to make it airy and flowy and give it some movement. And the way to do that is to make sure there's good spaces in between everything. Right here we're filling in the spaces and creating more branches around the crest. With the number 1 tip in a Christmas red, create berries onto the branches you just made. The reason why I use a number 1 tip is because when you pipe onto anything or onto a cake, it creates a really beautiful round ball shape, and it's almost as if you got a piece of fondant and you rolled it into your hand and made a tiny little ball. And it sounds easy when you think about it, making a ball from piping it, but it does take practice, and you really have to have a really steady hand, and practice makes perfect. And I'm just making tiny clusters. I'm not overfilling it too much, and I'm creating different sizes and more variation around the cake. With the number 1 tip in black, we're about to create some lettering. And I suggest going on to Pinterest and other social media platforms like Instagram and looking at different types of lettering, watercolor lettering, and just different types of penmanship. And if you have really good penmanship to begin with, you're off to a good start. However, piping onto a cake is totally different than writing with a pencil. So practice definitely makes perfect. Right now I'm shading in part of the cursive just to give it a little bit more depth. Be sure to cross your T's and dot your I's and your J's too. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Comment down below if you've ever watched Ren and Stimpy. Once again, think about your breather space, and you want to make it look handwritten. And I'm also doing my drag and drop effect, just like that. Touch, drag, drop, touch, drag, drop, touch, drag, drop. Right now we're doing a really frilly and flamboyant W. Just like I did with the Happy Happy Joy Joy, I'm shading in the world as well. And there we have it. Joy to the world, the Lord has come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Click right on my face to subscribe, click on the video to view my last episode on the right, and get your subscription to Caker's Crate at GreggySoriano.com.